Was that tough?
It's not tougher than any others. I mean, obviously, we highlighted the bits where we had our chances and missed them, and that's what it was. I mean, Munster are an extremely good side, and they did to us what they do. They grind out that win. That's the difference between championship sides. Once they don't get there, they can convert those tough, obviously, away game for them. They can convert that tough away game into a win, and by 3 points. That's what they did, and they seem to have done that this tournament all the way through. And unfortunately, that's what Munster do, and unfortunately we let them do it. Obviously, you guys were talking about the breakdown. They controlled the breakdown very, very well, and made it difficult, and slowed down our ball, and made it an S fight. So that's what it is. But those fine margins, 3 points. That's the fine margins between a win and a loss at this level. And it's high in cup, and that's the beauty of it. And we know we've got a big step up, going to a tough place, home ground for them. Crowds can sway refs, and that's a big factor. But we know what we've got to do. We know the areas we've got to improve on, and areas we can target. Although they won, I don't think they're a million miles away from us.
No.
3 points is nothing. They got one relatively slack try because of our errors more than what they've created. Okay, you could say they created from the pressure, but tackles should have been made, offloads should have been stopped, and from what was a nothing kick, they got a try from it, and in the end, that and a couple of kicks was all that separated us. Going forward, I mean, I think we've got to be confident and believe we've got it in us to turn them over there. It's going to be a tough shift, but I mean, I believe it. We've got the depth and talent, just what not to do it. So the boys just got to believe it as well and go forward.
You played there?
Yeah, I've played there a few times. I don't think I've played there since they've extended it and whatnot. And obviously they've got a big stadium now, and the fans are fairly passionate.
Never in Europe, just in the league, is it?
I think so, just in the league. I can't remember. I've played so many games. Lose track. Getting on now. But yeah, you know it's a tough place. Any away ground's tough to go to. But just the whole away support, and teams always do seem to do better at home and things like that. So yeah, we know what we've got to do. We just got to do it.
Because there were breaks there on the weekend. So you went through a couple of times. And John went through as well.
Our own errors. That's what it's more. Little things are it's little things. A couple of forward passes cost us. Maybe a couple of penalties in the bad areas cost us. Obviously, not sorting out a kick chase in the end cost us with a try. It's not a lot. I mean, I think we were in it all the way, and we were battling all the way. And I think if we could do the same and just reverse the score line, we'd be happy. So anyway, not take a win by 1 point if it needs to be, and that's what I think it's going to take. Ideally, I'd like to be 100 points ahead, but we'll take it 1 point as well.
What's the key to doing that in a place like Thomond Park, though? Is it as much a test of your character as your ability?
For us, it'll be error count and penalty count. Don't give them penalties. Don't give them field position, and cut out errors, and that'll be the thing. Keep the ball, play in the right places. It's rugby line numbers, and sometimes that happens. I mean, obviously, we know we can score tries and take them from anywhere, but we can't push it too much and just make silly errors. It'll come the way Scarlets play. It'll come. We don't force it.
So I suppose they have players in the side now with international experience, played in World Cups. It's not just a young, naive side anymore.
The whole squad is not just the guys who take the field. It's not just the starting 15. Look at the guys that have come in while the boys have been away. They've stepped up massively, and that's great for us. It is pressure when the guys that are reserves, when they're pushing so hard up the guys for the starting position. It's got to improve you, and that's the way it does. And I think that's the benefit that we've had this year. These guys have been shaped over the last couple of years are stepping up, and the guys in behind are doing the same. So it's been great, and that's where we are at the squad. We just, like I said, we just need to be clinical at the right times.
So a couple of occasions, the second half certainly showed them you running down 10 channels. You got a bit of success down there, got over the game line. Is that something you look at more this weekend as well?
Well, yeah, we did look at it before last week's game. Obviously, we know the strengths and weaknesses of running. I mean, obviously, his kicking is obviously his strength, but we also know that he's a lighter tackling. I think Rob ran into it a few times, myself. I mean, that's it. I mean, there's points like that throughout the thing you've got to focus on. I think we've just got to use the opportunities better than we did the weekend gone. Obviously used it a couple of times, but there's no reason to throw more down there. And obviously if they start to tighten up, that's when we can go. Little things like that. There was opportunities a couple of times we went wide. Okay, a couple of forward passes. If it wasn't for those, could be a different thing. So we know we've got to attack. We've just got to be more clinical in it, and that's what in the end cost us. We weren't clinical enough in the moves.
And within that back three, how important is someone like George North? He obviously just missed out.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a reshuffle late. How important is he?
Well, of course, he's the freak, isn't he? No, he is. I mean, obviously, he's a hell of an athlete. He's come on good form. But I was saying that the guys that have been in, Sanj's been great. He's been a good find again, considering he was a scaffolder this time last year, or whatever it was. So yeah, no, it's things like that. I mean, obviously, George is a talented player. Obviously, we want the full strength team as we can get playing. And yeah, I mean, obviously with a good backline, we have got a full international backline.
Yes.
And I say we just need to be a bit more clinical than we were the weekend just gone. I think everybody knows it. Obviously we had a debrief and it got pointed out, but I think even the players that on the field, every player knows when they've played well and when they don't. And when you don't, you know you've got to make amends for it next week. And luckily the guys that get a chance to do it won't step up.